this time, I'd like to invite Senator Frank Nicely and Representative Susan Lynn to come forward, please. They have a special recommendation for, and I guess Bernadette, you need to come on that too, Bernadette Hazers, that they would like to make, and Bernadette is a member of the 6th District, Mr. Clarence and Mr. Blue has.
Thank you, Nancy. It's a great honor to be here today. We've all suffered through this COVID pandemic of sorts, and half the people want to take a vaccine and half the people don't. And people end up going to co-op and buying Ivermectin and guessing how much they need to take. And Susan Lynn and I passed a resolution, a bill, with the help of Bernadette Pager. She did it awful hard getting it done. It's had more than 5 wrestles, came down, Dr. Sibley came down week after week and testified in committees. And I wish you all could have seen her tie these legislative doctors in knots and spit them out. It did me good to watch her. If you ever get sick, find Dr. Sibley and you'll get better. And she was great. We passed a resolution honoring Bernadette, and we just wanted to present it to you here and let you know what a fine citizen you had. And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of citizens come down and lobby the legislature. Some of them effectively, and some of them would have been better off if they'd stayed at the house. But she did a great job, was very professional, and she's new to East Tennessee, but I tell you what, if everybody moved in, was good, she was in great shape. And I'd like Representative Lynn to carry the bill in the House to read the resolution.
And thank you for letting us present this to Bernadette tonight. It's a great honor to be here. I represent the 57th District, which, if you're ever driving to Nashville, when you get to Mount Juliet, that's where I represent. So I'm very close to Nashville, and I'm grateful for that. And I had some folks come down from Nashville from Mount Juliet to support this bill too. But nobody was really as effective as Bernadette and Dr. Sibley. They were very dedicated. They made handouts for legislators that were very easy to understand. And you have to do that. You really got to dumb it down for the legislature, right? Is that right?
That's right.
But they were very, very well written. And this is a great solution, because rather than having citizens go to the co-op, like Frank was saying, why shouldn't they be able to get Ivermectin? It's behind the counter. You go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist will ask you questions, ask you to wait, and then dispense you the amount that will be helpful for you and a member of your family. It's a very practical bill. It's a very safe drug. And I cannot tell you, it was hard to get that through the health committee. It took many, many weeks. It's nothing else, I think. But the way Bernadette could explain things and sit with the legislators, I didn't even have to ask her to, she just did. And I was so surprised that a citizen would care that much about the health of other Tennesseans like that. But that is her passion, caring about health and health-related things, and I just so appreciate that. So Bernadette, we have this beautiful resolution. It was voted upon by the full House and the full Senate, and if you'll indulge me while I just read this to her. It says a resolution to honor and commend Bernadette Prayer for her exemplary service to the state of Tennessee. Whereas this General Assembly takes great pride in recognizing those outstanding individuals who serve as advocates for the greater good, thereby contributing significantly to the well-being of their fellow citizens. And whereas one such person is Bernadette Prayer, who, through her tireless advocacy on behalf of public health, has distinguished herself as a community leader of whom we can all be proud. And whereas Ms. Prayer holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Interdisciplinary Studies, Arts and Science, CLA, Cultural Literature, from the University of Washington, and is the host of the popular radio show An Informed Life Radio on 11:50 a.m. in Seattle, Washington. And whereas an advocate for scientific integrity and public health policy, and integrity in science. Bernadette Prayer is an adept interviewer who strives to present her audience with missing information on matters of public and individual health importance. And whereas Ms. Prayer is also the author of Professor Bradshaw Mysteries, A Spark of Death, Fatal Induction, and the Edison Effect. And whereas a resident of Rogersville, Bernadette Prayer is dedicated to serving the needs of her fellow citizens through involvement in community board meetings and participation in the grassroots patriots of Faulkner County. And whereas Bernadette is a fierce advocate for transparency between pharmaceutical companies and the government concerning vaccination, an issue to which she is so devoted that she volunteers for the nonprofit organizations Informed Choice, WA, and the Tennessee Coalition for Vaccine Choice. And she is the Tennessee Director of Stand for Health Freedom. And whereas Ms. Prayer's advocacy was essential to the passage of Senate Bill 2182, which authorizes over-the-counter availability of ivermectin in consultation with a pharmacist. Because of her efforts, ivermectin will save lives in Tennessee. And whereas Bernadette Prayer is a public-spirited individual of the highest order who has done her utmost to serve the people of Tennessee during these unprecedented times, now therefore be resolved by the House of Representatives of the 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee and the Senate concurring, that we honor and commend Bernadette Prayer for her exemplary service to the state of Tennessee as a tireless advocate on behalf of public health, extending our deepest gratitude for her exceptional service and leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is signed by Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton, Speaker of the Senate, Randy McNally, Governor Bill Lee, Senator Nicely, and myself. And thank you for everything.
Quite the prayer. So the way you pronounced it does quite fit. A lot of us are praying now because of what's been going on in the nation. And I don't know if anybody's ever, a medical freedom enforcement advocate has ever been recognized by the state legislature before. I'm so thrilled to accept this and very humbled to accept this. There are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of parents, just like me, all over this nation, who have been trying to wake the country up to the corporate capture of our federal government or federal oversight agencies. There's so much going on now that COVID has revealed, the response to COVID has revealed. A lot of the things that I've done here, I did in Washington State to no avail, because the people in office there will not respect medical freedom. And I came to Tennessee because of freedom, because of the reputation, and I was so thrilled. When we first moved here, one of the first things you all did was make this a constitutional sanctuary. I mean, so the applause goes to you. And then I drove to Nashville and I met these wonderful legislators, and on day one of session they said, well, yeah, Bernadette, you believe in that. Let's help you get it done. And that wasn't happening in the other states. So if it wasn't for the open-mindedness and your dedication to freedom and the Constitution, that good bill would not have passed, the other really good bills that also passed this session. So I think it reflects the best of how America works, when just moms like me, activists, I join groups, but really a lot of us just consider ourselves moms on a mission to try to bring to the law, to public policy, some common sense. And we're up against $1 trillion industry that does not want us to succeed. Right? So ivermectin, there's a lawsuit now because ivermectin is a beautiful, safe drug that does help prevent SARS-CoV-2 and other viruses. The science is all there, and I'm so grateful in the state of Tennessee, thanks to these guys. People can now get it safely. They don't have to go, as Senator nicely likes to say, try to figure out what size horse they are. They can just actually go to the pharmacist and get it. So I would actually like to flip this around, and I would like everybody here to give a round of applause to the elected officials who are actually representing them when we go to them. So thank you.